What's going on, y'all? This is Conscious One coming at you. Hope everybody out there is doing okay. Well, this audio I knew I was going to do, and I have to be honest. It's kind of hard for me to do this audio because, I don't like going into my personal past relationships too much because it hurts me. It hurts me that I'm in a world that's all about, exploitation, basically sucking the energy out of you until you have no more energy left to give it. And so lately I've been thinking about a lot of things. I work the graveyard shift doing deliveries. I love it because I get to stay away from all the NPCs. And I noticed during these hours, I think about a lot of things that I went through in the past, whether it was my fault, whether I could have done something to make it better. But at the end of it all, I look at myself and I'm very proud of who I am, even though I'm by myself. It keeps me young being by myself because I don't have the energy being sucked out of me anymore. A lot of people I notice, like from high school, that are my age, they look older than me. And the majority of them, if not all of them, have children, are married, some to the same race or to different races, but they all seem to have aged rapidly, at least more than I have aged. And so it's definitely true that when you bring children in this world, you give off part of your ka, I believe it is. You give off part of yourself to this being coming into the world, and it's kind of like you're left to just wither away and rot away. It's a very sick system. I hope the so-called woke people, so-called conscious people like myself, I really hope we don't have to go through this again. And I would rather we learn all our lessons now and just get it over with so we don't have to do this stuff again. And I think I've done my part by not bringing children in this world. I don't have anything to lose. And I don't have anything in this world to suck me back up into this matrix trap. But I knew I was going to have to come across this video, as most of my videos are about teaching. My life path number is 7, so I by nature, I'm a teacher. Even when I don't try to be teaching people, I'm still teaching, even in my methodology of communicating. Sometimes it can get on people's nerves, but they have to understand that's just my nature, is that I came in this world as a teacher, and that's all I know how to do. Another thing too, I notice it's hard for me to gather my words together. And we have to remember that as so-called black people, this English language is not our language. In a lot of ways, we want to express ourselves. It's getting harder and harder the more I get in touch with the spiritual side of things. I start to lose my English somewhat, it seems like. I can't come up with words that I just automatically used to come up with. I'm a great orator. I grew up a Jehovah's Witnesses. I was giving public talks in front of hundreds of people at the age of 8 years old. I was always a great orator, but I noticed as of late, as I get closer and closer to the spirit, I'm starting to lose touch to these English words because this is not my language. And so a lot of times I think black people may sound like they're so-called stupid or retarded. Maybe they can't read, maybe they can't write, maybe they can't talk effectively. A lot of that has to do with the fact that they're not using their native tongue, and they're using words that's not associated with their natural spirit. So I do my best, but I knew I was going to have to go back down this road again and just tell you guys about what was my experience like dating a hybrid. I know a lot of people watch my YouTube channels. It's amazing how you got like so many subscribers, but you might only have like 2 or 3 comments. And you say, I know people are watching my channel. I know people are watching my video. I know people are watching my videos that don't know that I know that they're watching my videos, but they are. It's almost as if they're waiting for me to slip up and say, aha, that's it. I knew he was crazy. I knew he was the one who was wrong. But no, I'm always going to be right. That's why I'm by myself. They loved me. This world loved me when I was asleep. It loved me. At least it pretended it did. But actually, what it was just doing was sucking my energy. We as black men, we have to be really careful because there's so many. This whole world is just set up with sucking our energy. That's why whatever we do, white people are copying it. You hear a lot of white people talking about conscious things. We are the creator and stuff like that. And it's like, they got that from us. They know that we are the creators. And so they're siphoning our energy and make it their own, just like they siphon our rap music, make it their own. Siphon our style, make it their own. Siphon our slang and make it their own. These individuals, they're like parasites. And they don't know they're parasites. They actually believe that they have some originality about them. But they're actually just siphoning energy. And the thing about it too, when I listen to white people who are supposedly conscious, my thing is, if they're not giving homage to the fact that the black man was the first, and that most of their ideas, if not all their ideas, came from a black man, and that we are the creators and that we are the originators, if they're not giving homage to that, I can't mess with them. I can't mess with them. I even heard one dude say, I think what the Egyptians, I think what they thought were gods were. How could a person say what they believed they thought the Egyptians were thinking? I never heard such an arrogant statement in my life. What do you mean? I think what the Egyptians thought were gods. How do you know what the Egyptians were thinking? You see, and when I start to hear this kind of language, so-called white people or hybrids, and I say, no, I can't deal with that because they're so arrogant. They're so used to operating in this system and having everything their way. That's why as soon as they don't get their way, they're ready to throw a tantrum. That's why I don't deal with the workforce anymore. Another place where they use black men to siphon our energy. But I realized majority of my life was involved in people siphoning my energy. Now this hybrid I dated here, it's funny too, these relationships I ended up in, I might have lost my job or I didn't have enough money, so I end up having to live with this person. I notice a lot of people who married, I see the comments on different videos, and excuse me guys if I'm jumping from subject to subject, but I can't go in a linear fashion. Things come on my mind, I just have to speak on it. But I see these comments from people who married, and I ask myself, why are people married? It seems like it really has nothing to do with love. It has nothing to do with compatibility. There was this one song by Paula Abdul, I think it was, somebody, they were talking about, another hybrid, but she was talking about opposites attract. I'm not sure if it was her. About how opposites attract. I don't know about that. Yeah, opposites may attract, but that doesn't mean a good thing. Black men, want to date white women because they are mysterious, but that doesn't mean you're supposed to be dating white women just because they're the opposite. So, it's a lot of deception in these songs too that sound cliche and sound like it's good, but it's actually not good. It's telling you something totally false. But yeah, I do realize that a lot of events that happened in my life had to do with the fact I didn't have any money, so I had to be around this person, didn't really want to be around him. And so I have my ways of getting out of relationships. I'm glad I work for myself now. I notice I'm able to keep my energy to myself now. But yeah, a lot of these so-called married people, I see them on YouTube saying my husband doesn't believe this, or my husband didn't take the vax, and then I see people walking down the street, they be holding hands, one is wearing a mask, one is not. This kind of reminds me of the whole They Live situation. Remember at the end of the They Live movie, this couple was having sex, and I think let me see, how did it go? I think the woman was riding on top of the man, and when that satellite crashed, come to find out that that woman was she was one of them. She was They Live. She was one of those insectilians. And so I think a lot of people who marry here are married to either some kind of hybrid species or insectilian. Even Joseph Chaperone said the same thing. A lot of marriages, they hook you up with a person who is, some kind of hybrid species, and you don't even know it. You see what I'm saying? It's very rare. Like I heard on, I watched one of my guy Mana Felice. I watched one of his videos today, and yeah, I'm kind of losing my thought here. I'm about to get out of here soon, so I'm kind of losing my thought. But I saw something that reminded me of what I was. I'm losing my thought here. Excuse me, guys. But yeah, I was talking about, just this opposites attract thing, and that's not necessarily a good thing. I can't believe I just totally lost my thought when I want to talk about what this brother said in another video. Maybe I'll think about it later, maybe, but you guys probably know what I was getting at. But yeah, you definitely want to be careful. But again, it just seems like these people who hook up, they they're not really sequent. They're just doing it to survive. They're just doing it because somebody said it made sense for them to do it. Meanwhile, one person is just sucking the other person dry. You're gonna find in a lot of these relationships, one person is like a vampire, sucking the energy out of the other one and kind of keeping the other one, at bay, begging and stuff like this. But when I was in these past relationships, I usually got my way out of it. Like when I was dating this female you see in the picture here, she'd come in, I'd be watching Elijah Muhammad videos, knowing that she's a hybrid. Imagine me trying to tell a hybrid that the white man is the devil. Of course, she's gonna think you're crazy. So I found my way out of relationships. Because the thing was, I said to myself, if this person I'm getting with cannot accept my thoughts and my ideals or what type of material I bring into my realm, and they can't take it, then most likely I'm not supposed to be with that individual. But trying to think about what else I want to talk about this. So yeah, so this hybrid person that you see, I remember I was supposed to go back to Wisconsin to meet her, her parents, her family, and so forth. And I knew most of her people were white, and for some reason I did not want to go back to. I did not want to go to Wisconsin with this person to meet their family. I just didn't want to go. I didn't want to be around a bunch of white people faking like me being not being able to be myself. Another thing too, is guys, when the black guy is around a white woman, usually the black guy is talking white. He's adopted her nature because he has to talk a certain way so to make white people feel comfortable and stuff like that. I often found myself talking like that when I was around white people. I wasn't really allowed, and I don't think it's so much that we trying to uh, be so-called be white or try to act white to get along. It's more of so just getting on their energy so that they can understand what you're saying. Like if I was to talk to a white person and keep the energy I speak to my brother, he really wouldn't understand fully what I'm saying. So oftentimes I have to raise my voice kind of like almost high pitch to make sure that they understand exactly what I'm saying, so I don't have to repeat myself, because white people really can't hear or see as much as they think they can, see. But yeah, this individual, I got with her. I remember I had lost my job. I had a really good bartending job, and I begged her to move in with her. And next thing you know, we're sleeping in the same bed. That's another thing too. Married people or people in a relationship really not supposed to sleep in the same bed as each other, because you're siphoning energy. That's why one person end up getting sick. I used to get a lot of colds. When I was in these relationships. I used to get the flu. I used to get colds. Let me tell you something. Since I've been on my own and sleeping in my own bed for the past few years, I can't remember the last time I've gotten cold. It's almost as if I'm Superman. That's why getting a jab is absolutely ridiculous to me when I haven't been sick in years. You see? But no, there's a queen's chamber and there's a king's chamber. I don't think you're supposed to be sleeping in the same bed with your wife. After a while, somebody's gonna start vampiring energy off the other one. So you want to sleep in separate beds. But and then this person used to sleep and bring a dog in the bed and sleep in the bed. I remember arguing about I didn't want the dog in the bed and she wanted the dog in the bed, and I thought it was cool at first, but then I just didn't like it. I would get out of bed, the dog started barking when I come back into the room. And it was like, I don't sleep with dogs. Black people, dogs are not our. That's not our animal. cat. I like cats personally. You know, I like cats. I'm not really too into dogs. I like dogs. I play with dogs, but I'm not into them as much as I'm into cats. So yeah. But yeah, I remember this person wanted me to go back to Wisconsin to meet them, and I would. For some reason, I just did not want to go back to Wisconsin. And this girl was beautiful. Everybody was like, "Man, how could you break up?" Well, I remember she was an aspiring model, and I really liked her a lot. You know, I thought she was a nice person and stuff like this. But you have to look past all that stuff. You really have to get down deep to the individual, because a lot of these hybrids, even though they got a drop of black blood in them, they most likely they're gonna go with the matrix system. They're gonna be more attached to the matrix system than they are the spiritual side, being a hybrid. So that whole thing about, you know, one drop of black blood makes them black, yeah, that's true and all, but don't be surprised if they're more towards the matrix than the spiritual side. You see, we know that the Moors went into Europe and started having sex with a lot of white women just so that they would have a soul. That's why 15% of the white people out here are not even white. You see, and eye color definitely plays a role in that too. So you brothers who do end up dating a white person and stuff like that, you better mess with the ones who have the same color eye you do at least. Another thing too, when you get with white people or hybrids, if you have children with them, the children are gonna have a lot of problems with their bones. I noticed through my experience, and keep in mind, guys, I'm just speaking from experience. I don't know if this is fact. I am just speaking from experience. Most people I know that had children, these mulatto children, they have a lot of bone issues. You see, another reason we know we're not supposed to be mixing. Um, Black people not supposed to be mixing with white people and stuff like that. Also, another story I could tell you about this chick you guys see is, I remember when I saw she was taking all these prescription bottles. Like, she told me they helped her go to sleep. You know, and we know pharmaceuticals associated with sorcery. I remember one time I said, well, let me try one of these pills that you're trying. And she let me try one. I remember that night I had a dream. And in that dream, I could not move my legs. I was handicapped. And I couldn't move. And then when I woke up, I still could barely move my legs. And I just wondered, how could this woman be taking these kind of pills that put me down, and I'm strong, physically stronger than she is? You know, what do these doctors know about these kids that come into the world that have hazel eyes, these mulatto kids? I think it's a lot that the hospitals know about that the average person don't know about. I think they know who is who when they come into this world. It's we who don't know who is who out here, you see. But they know who is who, you see. But yeah, she had all these pills, and me, I'm not on, I'm not on many pills. And so naturally, a young woman, you want to know, why you all those pills? That's another thing, guys. If you dating a woman and she's taking all these prescription things and birth control and all this stuff, you gotta be cautious of that too, because you don't know what kind of pills this person is doing. You don't know what kind of sorcery they are dealing with and stuff like that. And so as the relationship went on, I think we broke up after a year. I just noticed I felt very tired being with this individual. Of course, that along with eating low vibrational food, because you know that's the type of food I was eating back then, and plus sleeping in the same bed as this hybrid, so I noticed I was really tired a lot. But I tell you guys, I'm trying to think of what else I wanted to say. Yeah, I just noticed how much she was attached to the Matrix. I also remember, she had a big LCD TV in our room, or in her room, and I remember she used to watch this TV so intently. And I remember oftentimes calling her name. And I'm not going to say her name, but I would call her name to call her, and she was like in a trance watching this television. And I would have to say her name about 4 or 5 times before she was finally snap out of the spell and look over me at me and say, "Huh." So I knew I knew I was in trouble dealing with this hybrid. But I was always the type of dude. I was very skeptical about a lot of things. I asked a lot of questions. And I knew when I couldn't stay around. Everybody, of course, thought she was so pretty. Oh my God, how could you not want to be with her? How could you not love her and stuff like this? Again, they loved me when I was asleep. When I started waking up, I started losing all my relationships, guys. When I started waking up, That's when I started losing all my relationships, friendships, relationships. Um, they loved me when I was asleep. You know, they loved me when I was asleep. And I think that's all I'm gonna say on this one, guys. And yeah, if you're a black brother and you dating a hybrid, I mean, just be extra careful. You have to pay attention to everything. You know, because a lot of mulattoes, they are stuck in confusion. I mean, all you have to do is imagine if you was mulatto, which side do you go with? The white, black, somewhere in between? You're oftentimes confused and stuff like that. And they, like I say, oftentimes they're gonna go along with the matrix more so than their spiritual side. And so I hope I said some key points in this audio here, guys. And y'all take care out there. I'll let y'all later. Peace.